มหาอภิวาทะพุทธวจนะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธะสหัสสานิวีสติอริยมรรคะวีสติสามัญญพละเอกานิพพานะขิปปาพิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทินโยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจาวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธาโยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจาวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธาโยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจะวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธานะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอ่า Before we begin the class, as always, I need to mention about the important note that Dhamma provided in this presentation is simple and not Kampira or profound. People must continuously study Dhamma or else it will lead to Mahatapa Niraya or hell because it is Micchaditthi, not following the Buddha's teaching. If any provided content contrast with Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka, please refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka only. What day is today? Today is 10th Sukkapakkhassa, Assayujamāsassa, Mahābuddhajayantī 2613, or October 12th, Buddhist era 2567. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the class, that yo vo ananta maya dhammo ja vinayo ja te sito panyato so vo mama jayena sattha. Translate into English is Buddha Vachana 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka is Anuttara Samma Sampoti. Next. As we are one of the four Buddha Parisa, which are consisting of Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Ubasaka, Ubasika, we as one of the four Buddha Parisa has our responsibility, which are the followings. The first one is for Buddha Parisa must well understand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka. And the second one is that for Buddha Parisa must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka. And the third one is that for Buddha Parisa must be able to correct those who condemn or misunderstand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka. And at this time, we pay respects to Tipitaka Dhammacharya, เถรวาทพระโพธิสุชาตินาคอ่อนแอนท่านอังคคุณอริยธรรมะวัตตพิรตโสตาปนะสุปฏิปันโนสุปฏิปันโนสุปฏิปันโน Now we are going to begin the class today. Our class is related to a small topic, small Dhamma topic. For today, I will cover around 3 to 4 small topic of Dhamma. And the first one we begins at we begin the first topic, which are where Anuttara Samma Sampodhi's teaching be heard. This should be not very difficult questions for normal people. Normal people when they hear about this question where Anuttara Samma Sampodhi's teaching be heard, it's quite common for people to assume that we should hear the voice or the word, the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampodhi by our ears, right? Because at this moment we we are hearing the voice from our ears. That's quite simple and that's straightforward. If the answer of the question is that simple and that's straightforward, the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi might not be needed. And moreover, the time that needed for Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi to need to spend time before enlightenment, for example, like Panyatika Buddha need to pampen parami for 20 asankhaya and 100,000 kappa. And one asankhaya is the mountain, the rock mountain, which have 16 kilometers height, and the cross section of 16 kilometers across times 16 kilometers. Every 100 Tevata comes and wipe the mountain with a fine cloth, and the time that takes and the time that need until that mountain comes to the ground, that is one asankhaya. And then for Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi at this moment, this Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is Panyatika. We need 20 of that kind of mountain to come down to the ground. So if that enormous time needed, the answer of this question shouldn't be that straightforward, because it might need some elaboration to explain where Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching be heard. When the Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana or give sermon to his disciples or Buddha Savaka, when Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi spoke, one had to hear it. But what was heard was the Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta. Here, when where you heard it, heard what Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said is not your ear, but begins at Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta. And for the people who cannot recite Chitta, we recommend that you try to recite Chitta 121, Cetasika 52, and Rupa 28 first, because when we mention about Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta, the full name of Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta is Ubekha Sahakatang Pancha Tawara Vachana Chittang Asankharikang Kama Vajra Ahetuka Kriya Chittang, which was heard by the Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta, because there was Vitaka Cetasika, Vitaka Cetasika, and Vichara Cetasika, not your ear. Start what you heard or what the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi starts at Vitaka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika, which these two Cetasika works with Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta, which is one of three of Ahetuka Kriya Chitta. That is, there must be Pancha Phassa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika, Sanya Cetasika, Cetana Cetasika, Ekakata Cetasika, Shivita Cetasika, Manasikara Cetasika. These 7 Cetasika called Sapachita Sattva Cetasika 7, and then Pakinaka 6, only 3 out of 6, which are Vitaka Cetasika, Vichara Cetasika, Adhimokkha Cetasika, and altogether these 10 Cetasika works with Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta. That's why we start to hear the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi at Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta. To hear Dhamma Tesana by Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, we need interaction, we need Vitaka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika. And our ears, as we Sikha Dhamma until now, we should know that our ears or Sota Vinyan, or the full name is Ubekha Sakatang Sota Vinyanang Asankharikang Kama Vajra Akusala Vipaka Chittang, and Ubekha Sakatang Sota Vinyanang Asankharikang Kama Vajra Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chittang. These two Sota Vinyana Chit, works with only 7 cetasika, which are Phassa cetasika, Vedana cetasika, Sanya cetasika, Cetana cetasika, Ekakata cetasika, Shivita cetasika, Manasika cetasika. And these 7 cetasika, you can see that there are no Vitaka cetasika and Vichara cetasika working with them. That's why you cannot hear the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi by using your ears. This quite contrast with what you see in your daily lives, because when you with your 5 senses, you have been taught since you were a kid that we hear by our ears, right? We hear by our ears, and we assume that to hear it, we need our ears to understand the words and the wave, the voice that enter our ears. It signals into our brain and then translate into words into the meanings that we can recognize them. That is the system that uh, science said. But for Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching, to be able to hear the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi requires Vitakka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika. And these 2 Cetasika not working with your ears or Sota Vinyana Chitta. That's why you start to hear that Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta, which has 10 Cetasika working with these Chitta. And within these 10 Cetasika, they contain 2 important Cetasika, which are Vitaka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika. That's why they mention here that which cannot be heard through the ear, because the ear only have Phassa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika, Sanya Cetasika, Cetana Cetasika, Ekakata Cetasika, Shivita Cetasika, and Manasikara Cetasika. This is quite important and contrast with the beliefs or the knowledge everyone have. Without Sikkhaya, no one knows that to hear Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching, we need Vitaka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika. So the answer of this question is, where Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching be heard, it starts at Vitaka Cetasika, Vichara Cetasika, that works with Pancha Tawara Vachana Chitta, not our ears, right? Which is in serious conflict with the understanding of worldly people. And this is the path to nirvana that no one can access. You see, quite contrast, serious conflict with the beliefs of people in this world. Because when you ask this question to anyone, they definitely they answer it. Yes, we should hear by our ears. And the teaching of Anuttara Sammasambuddhi, as we start to mention here, to hear you need Panchatavara Visarijita, not your ears. And why we need Panchatavara Visarijita? Because we need Vitaka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika to start here the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. And that is the short question, then short answer for the first one. And then you go to the next one. Okay, the way to reach Kamma. This question is quite when you sikaya for certain period of time, you know that to attain nirvana, we we must reach Kamma and go through Kamma, which is our Atita or our past, in order to reach Nirvana. However, if we cannot reach Kamma or reach our past, we will we will work in the present and then go into the future. We still exist in a cyclic of existence in 31 bhumi. However, if we can if we know the way to reach Kamma, which is our past, and within our past, there within our past they have our they have Sotapattimakha Citta waiting for us to enter. And once Sotapattimakha Citta activate, then we are we become Arya Bukkhala in our present life, and then we are not going to fall to Abhaya Bhum for anymore. And start from there, our Aramana will be the only Aramana remains, which is Nirvana, will be our Aramana. Okay. So back to our questions, the way to reach Kamma, we start from Kamma Sharupa. Kamma Sharupa is the form that goes to Kamma. So first, we mentioned about word Kamma. And to go to this Kamma, we need Kamma Sharupa to goes to Kamma, called Kamma Sharupa. Kamma is the name of Citta. It means that this type of Kamma enters Citta. Citta will be Kamma, Kamma Citta, Kamma Citta, Uttu Ahara. Only Ahara is something that exists in this world. So, according to these sentences, according to this paragraph, Kamma Shrupa is the forms that go to Kamma, and Kamma is the name of Citta. We go back to our past that we also mentioned that the Citta have 121. With Citta 121, they categorized into two main groups. One is Kam Shawana Citta 29. The second one is Apana Shawana Citta 58. And these two groups of Citta stays in Shawana Citta. And within Shawana Citta, there are only 29 citta out of 87 citta which stays in Shawana citta that are Kamma citta. So within first group, within Kam Shawana citta 29, there are only 20 citta which are classified as Kamma citta, which are Akusala citta 12, which consisting of Lopa Mula citta 8, Tosa Mula citta 2, Moha Mula citta 2, and these 12 are Kamma citta. And moreover, there are more 8 citta which classified as Kamma citta within Kam Shawana citta, which are Kama Vachara Maha Kusala citta 8. This altogether 20 Kamma citta that stays in Kam Shawana citta. And the second group will also stay in Shawana citta, as same as the first group, which called Apana Shawana citta. Within Apana Shawana citta, there are only 9 citta that classified as Kamma citta. They are Rupa Vajra Mahakusala citta 5, Arupa Vajra Mahakusala citta 4. Altogether 9 citta that classified as Kamma citta that stays in Appana Shawana citta. So altogether, now you can see that altogether Kamma citta within Shawana citta, there are altogether 29 citta that classified as Kamma citta, which are Akusala citta 12, Kama Vajra Mahakusala citta 8, Rupa Vajra Mahakusala citta 5, and Arupa Vajra Mahakusala citta 4. Okay. Now, this is Kamma citta that mentioned here by Kamma enters citta, and Kamma is the name of citta. And for another words that we see from this paragraph is Kammacharupa, and Kammacharupa is here. Kammacharupa 18. Kammacharupa 18, this Kammacharupa 18 is one of the group of Rupa Samuttatthana. Rupa Samuttatthana have 4 groups within Rupa Samuttatthana. The first one is Kammacharupa 18. The second one is Citta-shrupa 15. The third one is Uttu-shrupa 13. And the last one is Ahara-shrupa 12. Kammacharupa 18 classified into 2 main groups. The first one is we call them artificial Kammacharupa. We call it artificial Kammacharupa or Anekanta, because this group of Rupa exist not only in Kammacharupa but also in Citta-shrupa, Uttu-shrupa, and Ahara-shrupa. And these artificial Kammacharupa or Anekanta 9, they are consisting of Pathvi Mahābuddharupa 1, Apo Mahābuddharupa, Tesho Mahābuddharupa, Vayo Mahābuddharupa, Rupa Visaya Rupa, Kantha Visaya Rupa, Rasa Visaya Rupa, Ahara Rupa, and the last one is Parisheta Rupa. Altogether 9 Rupa. And for the first group within this 9 Rupa, for the first 8, which consisting of Pathvi Mahābuddharupa, Apo Mahābuddharupa, Tesho Mahābuddharupa, Vayo Mahābuddharupa, Rupa Visaya Rupa, Kantha Visaya Rupa, Rasa Visaya Rupa, and Ahara Rupa. These altogether 8 Rupa, we call them Vinipokha Rupa 8, which is the basic building blocks of everything in this universe and including ourselves. And in 31 Bhumi, apart except of Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4, because at that Bhumi they don't have Rupa within them. This is the first group of Kammacharupa, called artificial Kammacharupa or Anekanta. And then the second group of Kammacharupa, or genuine Kammacharupa or Ekanta. This group of Kammacharupa, we call the name of Ekanta or genuine Kammacharupa because they exist only in Kammacharupa and they are not exist in Citta-shrupa, Uttu-shrupa, and Ahara-shrupa. And these 9 genuine Kammacharupa or Ekanta, consisting of Passarupa 5, which are Chakku Passarupa, Sota Passarupa, Khana Passarupa, Shivha Passarupa, and Gaya Passarupa. And Pavarupa 2, Itti Pavarupa, Purisa Pavarupa, Hataya Rupa 1, and Jivit Rupa 1. Altogether 9 Rupa, or we call them genuine Kammacharupa or Ekanta. And then you see that these 9 Rupa exist only in Kammacharupa. There are no, they don't exist in Citta-shrupa, Uttu-shrupa, and Ahara-shrupa. That's why we call them Ekanta or Kammacharupa 80. So until now, we have two words explained a bit more in detail. Kamma is the name of Citta, and now we know that for Kamma is the name of Citta, this Kamma are 29 Citta that stays in Chona Citta. And Kammacharupa is one of the 4 groups within Rupa Samuttatthana, and Kammacharupa contains 18 Rupa. Okay, therefore there will be now we are at this moment we are trying to answer the way to reach Kamma. That's why we need to know the first 2 words. Kamma, the way we reach where we trying to reach Kamma. Kamma is the name of Chitta. And to reach Kamma, which is Chitta, we need Kamma Shrupa, is the form that goes to Kamma. So until now, we know that Kamma Shrupa contains Rupa 18, and Kamma is the name of Chitta. There are 29 Chitta that stays in Shavana Chitta. Okay, therefore, there will be Kamma Chitta Uttu Ahara, by which we can reach Kamma by Rupa. Rupa means Rupa 28 because of Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa. In the Suttanta, we call Rupa. In Suttanta, we call Rupa the name of the, for example, like the name of the person at this, we try to, for example, we call Mr. Black, Mr. Red, Mr. White, etc. The name are varying, depends on how people named it, others. So, however, people do not know Rupa, but there are names of all people in this world. All the people that name this name are Panyati. In Panyati, that these various names, no matter what they are, all the people in this world, no matter who they are Atta. Okay, the name to call these people, they are the name, we call it Panyati. And for the word Panyati and and the name, they are all called Atta. Actually, they are Atta Panyati. Panyati classified into two main groups. The first one is Atta Panyati, and the second one is Satta Panyati. And two goes to Kamma, as we mentioned here, for Kamma Charupa, they are Rupa. And for Kamma Charupa, they are here. And then for Rupa Samudadhana, they have four main groups under Rupa Samudadhana, which are Kamma Shrupa, Chitta Shrupa, Uttu Shrupa, Ahala Shrupa. And you can see that from these Rupa Samudadhana that contains these four main groups of Rupa, they create our universe, our solar system, the planet in the solar system, and also our planet, our Earth. They create Earth and also the component within our planet, within Earth. And moreover, they also create our environment that we are familiar with, like a river, waterfall, mountains, our cities, seas, gems, and objects that we need to interact with them. This is the first part that they need to build before we born as a human. Because when we are going to born as a human, we need our place to stay, to be able to survive. We need food, we need air, we need our clothes, we need where to sleep, we need water, we need etc. that needed for our existing in this world. However, we as a human, actually we have only around approximately 100 years to live, to stay on this planet, or to stay alive. We have only approximately 100 years. But as you know, that the universe, our solar system, Earth, and our environment, they are not built within 100 years. So they must be prepared before we born as a human. And the kind of the structure and the kind of the environment that are prepared must comply with the information that's sent from Rupa Samudadhana, which are Kamma Shrupa 18, Chitta Shrupa 15, Uttu Shrupa 13, and Ahara Shrupa 12, in order to prepare before we born as a human, and our environment must be able to support our existing as a human. For example, we born on the earth. The earth needs to have the atmosphere. In the atmosphere of the earth, we need oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen, which the combination of those substances must be optimized for human to be able to live on this planet. That is one of the that is one of the example that the environment must be prepared before we born as a human, and those environment that are prepared before we born as a human receive the same information as the information that build our body. They they must be compatible. Our environment must be able to support we as a human. And I spend a lot of time explain this chart because I need you to be able to picturize that when we stay in this world, we assume that the place that we stay at this moment, we assume that they are there they at this level. It is level 0. At this level 0 exists of universes, solar system, earth, sky, weather, countries, crops, women, men, and objects. Within these what I've just mentioned, that level 0 lies within the hidden within with Avinipokarupa 8. And Avinipokarupa 8 we also mentioned at before this slide. Avinipokarupa 8 is the basic building blocks of everything. And for Avinipokarupa 8, Avinipokarupa 8 even smaller than a quark, which is the smallest particle known by science today. And from this chart, we start from level 0, which is universe, solar system, earth, sky, weather, countries, crops, women, men, objects, etc., as we mentioned. And then go to smaller one, level 1, molecules, level 2, atoms, level 3, nucleus, level 4, nucleon, and level 5, quarks. This is for example to be able for you to be able to picturize that the way we go is to go small, go deep into ourselves. We're not going anywhere, but we go deep into ourselves. And by going deep into ourselves, the smallest the s- um the smallest particle known by science today is all the quarks. But Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi mentioned that at the smallest particle, smallest things that are base of our body, they are called Vinipokarupa 8, which are Patavi Mahaputrupa, Apo Mahaputrupa, Tesho Mahaputrupa, Vayo Mahaputrupa, Rupa Visaya Rupa, Kanta Visaya Rupa, Rasa Visaya Rupa, and Ahara Rupa. These eight, we these 8 rupa always stays together. They are called Vinipo Rupa 8, which is the basic building blocks of everything. And then we go smaller than that, smaller than quarks. We still going on to a smaller part than that until we reach we assume that it's level 50. This is only to be for you to picturize. But number 50 is not actually not 50, but 50 is something that we uh, try to try to help you be able to picturize them. At level 50, you see at level 50 exists of Brahma, Bhumi, Tevata, Naraka, Peta, Asurakaya, they stays here. And then start from level 50, still going on until we reach level 100. Level 100 is where Chitta 121 Cetasika 52 stays. So now you are be able to picturize, roughly picturize our body, the world that we stays. We assume that it stay at level 0. And for other Bhumi that we cannot see with our bare eyes, for example, like Brahma Bhumi 16, Deva Bhumi 6, Naraka, Peta, Asuragaya, these kind of Bhumi stay as level 50. And then at level 100, they are Chitta 121, Cetasika 52 stays at this level. You can see it there. Their Chitta and Cetasika, Chitta, Cetasika that we mentioned at the beginning of the class, they are not staying with us at level 0, but they, instead of staying at level 0 with us, they stay at level 100. However, everything that built in level 0, built under the command of Chitta, that stays in level 100. And from level 100, start from level 99 until level 0. These are level that contains stories about Rupa, and Cetasika stays at 100. So the information and the command of Chitta and Cetasika, they pass through Rupa system since from level 99 until level 0. And that's why we our environment and our body are compatible, and we can live on this earth, but we cannot live on the sun, we cannot live on the moon, we cannot live on the other planets on our solar system, because of the compatibility that are sent are created under the command of Chitta and Cetasika that stays at level 100. And those commands pass through here, the command pass through Gamma Sharupa 18. When Gamma Sharupa 18 exists, they the side effects of existence of Gamma Sharupa 18, there are a Gamma Sharupa 10 exists at the same time. A Gamma Sharupa 10 contains the rest 10 of Rupa that are not included in Gamma Sharupa, because Rupa altogether we have 28 Rupa, right? So for a Gamma Sharupa 10, they are consisting of Sattva Visaya Rupa 1, Vinyati Rupa 2, which are Kaya Vinyati Rupa and Vachi Vinyati Rupa, Vikara Rupa 3, Rupa Visaya Rupa, Kantha Visaya Rupa, and Vikara Rupa 3, Rupasa Lahuta, Rupasa Mututa, and Rupasa Kamaneta. Lakkhana Rupa 4, Rupasa Santati, Lakkhana Rupa 4, Rupasa Uttapo, Rupasa Santati, Rupasa Charata, Rupasa Anicca, which are Lakkhana Rupa 4. These altogether 10 Agamash Rupa exist. Whenever Agamash Rupa exists, there you may call it Agamash Rupa as some kind of side effects. Whenever Agamash Rupa exists, Agamash Rupa 10 will exist. The different characteristic of Gamma Shrupa 18 and Agama Shrupa 10, which is Gamma Shrupa 18 create from the past. That's it. They create from the past and do nothing anymore. They work as a base to interact with Agama Shrupa. And for Agama Shrupa create from the past as same as Gamma Shrupa. However, they to be used in the present. They work, and then they use Gamma Shrupa as their base, and then create the future for us. For example, like our past life, we have unlimited, we have also infinite our past life. Our past life, those things that we done in the past are accumulated within Gamma Shrupa 18. And they endorse information that we did in the past contains in Gamma Shrupa. And Gamma Shrupa create in the past. Whenever Gamma Shrupa 18 created, then Gamma Shrupa happen. Gamma Shrupa also happened in the past as same as Gamma Shrupa 18. But Gamma Shrupa has special characteristics. They interact with the base information in the past, which called Kamashrupa. And with this interaction, they work in present. Kamashrupa work in present, and then use the information that accumulate in Kamashrupa from the past, and then they create future. This is for easy understanding, or easy to picturize them. Therefore, for each people, we have different the accumulation in the past. Some people will understand Dhamma easily. Some people might find it very hard to understand Dhamma. And Kamashrupa is the proof of existence of our previous life, same as this. You see? So one more very important thing. When we mention that Kamashrupa are created from the past, and these Kamashrupa contains our information and things we done in the past. So if we can stop them, stop the result that creates from our Kamashrupa, or eliminate this information that we accumulate from the past. By doing so, we are able to become Arya Bukkhala, or attain Nirvana. And that's why we need to go back to Kamashrupa, because Kamashrupa is the way to reach our containment of information in the past, which stay in Kamashrupa. That's why we go back to our questions. That's why we need the way to reach Kamma, because within Kamma is the name of Chitta. And this Chitta contains our information in the past, and by eliminate this information in the past, we can stop our future and stop us to stay in a cycle of existence. That's why that is the way to attain Arya Bukkhala, or even or when we go through the end, we can attain Nirvana this way. So that's why we need to work on our sikha, on our present, and from our present, we need to know the way back to our past to reach Kamma, and to reach Kamma, and then we eliminate or pahana information in the past, of our information in the past, and by doing so, we can attain Arya Bukkhala, and eventually we will attain Nirvana this way. However, if you don't know the past, if you don't know the path or the way to reach Kamma, your interaction in the present, you interact with Chitta and Cetasika, and then send you into the future. They create another Kamashrupa. And once they create another Kamashrupa, you still stay, it makes sure that you stays in 31 Bhumi. You cannot escape from it. This is two completely different way by your action in the present. One is go to the future, stay in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. Another way, back to the past to reach Kamma, and to reach Kamma within these Kamashrupa 80 lies very special Wattu that stays in Hataya Rupa. We call it Hataya Wattu. Hataya Wattu altogether they contains Chitta 117. 100 and altogether they 107 contain Chitta 107. They and these 107 divided into two groups. The first one is 37 citta that stays with Hatayawattu, and another 70 citta stays within Hatayawattu. The special citta that stay the special and very important citta that is 37 citta that stays with Hatayawattu. And within these 37 citta, they have Sota Padimaka citta. 5 stay at this Hatayawattu. And once in case we can reach we can reach Hatayawattu, and we can pass through those 32 citta, and once we reach at Sota Padimaka citta, we will become Arya Bukkhala, starting from Sota Padimaka, and then that is the first step of our ending of the existence in 31 Bhumi and the cyclic of existence. It's just a roughly example. So we're trying to explain the way to reach Kamma and the important of why we need to reach Kamma, because this is the way to end the cyclic of existence and go to and to attain Arya Bukkhala and to reach Nirvana in the end. Next one, we go to Panyati. Panyati is the one that has the Panyati consisting of Atta Panyati and Satta Panyati. For Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka, normally if we speak a lot about this topic, we mention a lot about Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka. For Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka, at the beginning when the Buddha's Anuttara Sammasambuddhi was alive, at that moment, Dhamma divided into two main groups. The first one is Vinaya, 21,000 Dhammakhandhaka, and the second one is Dhamma, 63,000 Dhammakhandhaka. You see, at the beginning, when Anuttara Sammasambuddhi was alive, Dhamma Vinaya are divided. Dhamma Vinaya 84,000 Dhammakhandhaka divided into only two groups, which are Vinaya and Dhamma. That's why whenever we mention about word Dhamma, we refer to Dhamma 63,000 Dhammakhandhaka. And 4,000 Dhamma 63,000 Dhammakhandhaka divided into two groups. The first one is Sutta Pariyatti Tipitaka, 21,000 Dhammakhandhaka, or Suttanta, 21,000 Dhammakhandhaka. And the second group under Dhamma is Abhidhamma Pariyatti Tipitaka. Abhidhamma Pariyatti Pitaka, 42,000 Dhammakhandhaka. So when we mention about Dhamma, please be reminded that we mention about Suttanta and Abhidhamma. Dhamma 63,000 Dhammakhandhaka, Suttanta 21,000 Dhammakhandhaka, and Abhidhamma 42,000 Dhammakhandhaka, and Vinaya is Vinaya Pariyatti Pitaka, 21,000 Dhammakhandha. Dhamma divided into two groups after Nirvana of Anuttara Sammasambuddhi, because people after Anuttara Sammasambuddhi enter Nirvana cannot understand Dhamma directly. Dhamma need to be divided into two groups in order for people after Anuttara Sammasambuddhi enter Parinibbana to attain Arya Bukkhala or Nirvana, because those people cannot cannot see the way from Suttanta to Abhidhamma directly through Dhamma. Dhamma needed to divide it, to show the relationship between Suttanta and Abhidhamma clearly for people who born after Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi enter Parinibbana. And for those people, we are also included in the people that comes after Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi enter Parinibbana by reading Vinaya Suttanta. We cannot go back to Abhidhamma. Vinaya and Suttanta is phala or results of hetu or cause by Abhidhamma. However, the cause and effects are too elaborate, too complex, more than our mind or our ability to think by ourselves. That's why we need Sikkaya and needs to following the Buddha's teaching step by step, starting from recite Citta 121, Cetasika 52, and Rupa 28. And then we divided communication language and Dhamma language. And these are the basic foundation of starting to Sikha Dhamma. And by doing so, we start from Abhidhamma Pariyatti, because within Abhidhamma Pariyatti contains Paramattha Dhamma and Panyati Dhamma. Paramattha Dhamma, as we mentioned before, that we need to be able to recite Citta 121, Cetasika 52, Rupa 28, and then you can attain Nirvana 1. That's why you need to be able to recite them. And within these, Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, and Nirvana contains contains characteristics within them. The first one is Samanya Lakkhana and Visesa Lakkhana. Samanya Lakkhana 3, Anicca Lakkhana, Dukkha Lakkhana, Anatta Lakkhana, and Visesa Lakkhana 4, Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupatthana, Padattha. These are the real component that they are working. So when they are real component, they have their own characteristics. That their characteristics classified into Samanya Lakkhana and Visesa Lakkhana. For each characteristic of Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, Nirvana can simplified into this table. For Citta 121, Cetasika 52, Rupa 28, Nirvana 1, each of them should have characteristic as Samanya Lakkhana and Visesa Lakkhana. However, not all of them have complete characteristics. Some have certain, not complete, not all of them. For example, like Citta 121, divided into two groups. The first one is Lokiya Citta 81, and the second one is Lokuttara Citta 40. For Lokiya Citta 81, they have all of characteristics of Samanya Lakkhana, which are Anicca Lakkhana, Dukkha Lakkhana, and Anatta Lakkhana. And they also have all of characteristics of Visesa Lakkhana, which are Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupatthana, and Padattha. But however, once we talking about Lokuttara Citta 40, for Samanya Lakkhana, they have only one, which is Anatta Lakkhana. For Visesa Lakkhana, instead of having 4 characteristics, they have only 3 out of 4, which are Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupatthana, without Padattha. And for Cetasika 52 and Rupa 28, they also have the full characteristic of Samanya Lakkhana and Visesa Lakkhana. Samanya Lakkhana of Cetasika 52 and Rupa 28 consisting of Anicca Lakkhana, Dukkha Lakkhana, and Anatta Lakkhana. And for Visesa Lakkhana of Cetasika 52 and Rupa 28 consisting of Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupatthana, and Padattha, complete characteristics. And the last one for Abhidhamma, for Paramattha Dhamma. Paramattha Dhamma consisting of Citta 100, Chaittasika 52, Rupa 28, and Nirvana 1. Nirvana 1 have the same characteristic same as Lokuttara Citta. For Samanya Lakkhana, they have only one. Nirvana have only one characteristic, which is Anatta Lakkhana. For Visesa Lakkhana, Nirvana have only 3 out of 4 characteristics, which are Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupattan, without Patattan. This is summarized for characteristics of Paramatta Dhamma. However, they are not only Paramatta Dhamma. Paramatta Dhamma is the real component that they're working. That's why they have special that's why they have characteristics embedded in them. However, for Panyati, Panyati is some kind of things that point to the real component that interact that real or that works. For Panyati, they point into Paramatta Dhamma. That's why they don't have their own characteristics, as not the same as the real component here. The real working component, they have their characteristics embedded in them. However, Panyati is some kind of name or shape which doesn't contain characteristics in them, because they are not working objects themselves. They just represent Paramatta Dhamma. It is for example, for easy to picturize. And for Panyati Dhamma, divided into 2 groups. The first one is Atta Panyati, and the second one is Sattha Panyati. Atta Panyati is some kind of shape, form of that object. As we mentioned at the beginning of the class, that basic building blocks of everything is Avinipokarupa 8, right? If Avinipokarupa 8 is basic building blocks of everything, so everything is Avinipokarupa 8. Am I correct? However, those Avinipokarupa 8 form in different shape, different color, different smell. How come they form into different form like that? For example, this one is Avinipokarupa 8. This one also Avinipokarupa 8. Why they form differently? They also, this one Avinipokarupa 8. This one also different. This one also Avinipokarupa 8. When these 2 objects are Avinipokarupa 8, they have same characteristics of Samanya Lakkhana and Visesa Lakkhana. However, why they form differently in our world when they are Avinipokarupa 8 the same? So the shape and the form that these 2 objects are different, we call them Atta Panyati. This for the beginners to picturize them. And moreover, with the Atta Panyati, they form differently. This is called Atta Panyati. These 2, actually, they are Avinipokarupa 8. We put the name into it. And the name that we put into these objects, we call Sattha Panyati. For example, this one is mobile phone. This one is shampoo and bottle. So bottle, shampoo, we call it Sattha Panyati. And this one, mobile phone, we call Sattha Panyati. And the shape, they are formed differently, but the basic building blocks of these 2 things, they are Avinipokarupa 8. The different form that they have, we call Atta Panyati. From this point, you can see that Atta Panyati, or the shape, here and here, and the name of mobile phone and a bottle or shampoo, they are Sattha Panyati. These Atta Panyati and Sattha Panyati, they don't have characteristics embedded in themselves. However, those characteristics, they are embedded in the real component, which at this moment, I try to explain that the basic building blocks of them, they are Avinipokarupa 8, right? And once we call it Avinipokarupa 8, we go back to see their characteristics here. Avinipokarupa 8 lies within Rupa 28 groups. They also have Samanya Lakkhana 3, Visesa Lakkhana 4. Samanya Lakkhana 3, they consisting of Anicca Lakkhana, Dukkha Lakkhana, Anatta Lakkhana, and Visesa Lakkhana 4, which are Lakkhana, Rasa, Pajupattan, Pataptan. Okay, now you can picturize them easily. Now, within our world, we always see Atta Panyati around us, and also Satta Panyati, because we name them depends on your language. You can name them any name that you want, but those are Satta Panyati, and the shape like this and like this, they are Atta Panyati, and those Panyati don't have characteristics embedded within themselves, because the characteristic embedded within Paramatta Dhamma, which are Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa, and Nirvana one. Is for easy understanding that I try to explain the name, why we call it Panyati, and what Panyati, Panyati, the characteristics and the action of Panyati in our daily lives, as I mentioned. But, oh, this one is very large topic, but I think we are running out of time. So this topic for Gammapatha, I might explain into details in our next class. However, I'll go through very quickly. For Gammapatha 10, actually Gammapatha classified into two main groups. The first one is Akusala Gammapatha 10, that can be created by ourselves without the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, and without the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, we can create a Kusala Kammapatha 10 ourselves. However, for the second group, we have a Kusala Kammapatha 10, we should have Kusala 1 also. Kusala Kammapatha 10. However, whenever Kusala Kammapatha 10 happen, in this case, it's quite special because we cannot create our Kusala Kammapatha ourselves. We need Punyakriyawa to help us to create Kusala Kammapatha. And to be able to comply with Punyakriyawa 10, we need to Sikhaya. And in order to make Punyakriyawa 10 to happen, we need the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. That's why the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is quite important and very, very important to our daily lives and the survival of every Sattva in 31 Bhumi. Because without the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, we don't have Punyakriyawa 10. And without Punyakriyawa 10, we cannot create Kusala Kammapatha. And without Kusala Kammapatha, the only way we can go is Akusala Kammapatha 10. And Akusala Kammapatha 10 can lead us to only Abhaya Bhumi 4, Naraka, Niraya, Niraya, Dirashana, Peta, Asurakaya. Only these 4 Bhumi that we can go without the teaching or the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. This for Gammapatha in short. However, I'll explain in detail next time. Okay, so in summary, in this class we mentioned first, where Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching be heard. Now we know that we are not hearing by our ears. By hearing voice by our ears, that is the teaching of science, and that is one of the 5 senses that we know. But to actually hear Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi's teaching, we need Vitakka Cetasika and Vichara Cetasika. And these 2 Cetasika, first, for the first step to hear the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, we need the interaction of Vitakka. We need Vitaka Cetasika, Vichara Cetasika, that stays with Panchatvara Chitta. And Panchatvara Chitta, full name. Ubekha Sakatang Panchatvara Chittang Asankharikang Kama Vajra Ahetuka Kiriya Chittang. Okay. And the second one is the way to reach Kama. We also explained that the way to reach Kama, we go from Rupa. Rupa is Kama Shrupa. Kama Shrupa leads to Kama. And for Kama, Kama is Chitta. And the important, why we need to reach Kama, we explained that to attain Nirvana, Kama contains our information from the past. There are a lot of our wrongdoing things in the past, and these things need to be eliminated. And at least they need to be contained before eliminate. To contain and eliminate efficiently, we need to go from our present to the past, because the past or Kama contains all of information from our past life, which is almost infinite. And by controlling them, and also eventually we eliminate them by the Sikkaya and the interaction of Dhamma with our information that we accumulate from the past. And then at that moment, when we can contain and eliminate them, we attain Sotapanna as the beginning. That will lead us to Nirvana eventually. However, if we cannot reach Kama, our action in the present will lead us, will create future for us. We will have another Kama Sharupa in 31 Bhumi that keeps us in cyclical existence in 31 Bhumi. And for the third one, we also mentioned about Panyati. Panyati is one of the topic under Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma contains Paramattha Dhamma and Panyati Dhamma. Panyati Dhamma don't have their characteristics because they are not working objects. They point back to Paramattha Dhamma, which contains Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa, and Nirvana. And for Paramattha Dhamma, they have their own characteristics embedded within each component within Paramattha Dhamma, and these characteristics classified into Samanya 3 and Vises Lakkhana 4. And for Panyati, as we mentioned, we are staying in Panyati world. As we mentioned, basic building blocks of these things, they are Avinipokurupa 8. However, when we said that this Avinipokurupa 8, and this one also the Avinipokurupa 8, why it's shaped differently and why we name it differently. A shape different comes from Atta Panyati, and the name different depends on your language. Mobile phone, bottle, or shampoo in English, the name that you're given to them, this is Sattha Panyati. And the different shape, Atta Panyati. And these two have the same building blocks, which are Avinipokurupa 8. And for Avinipokurupa 8, since they are real object in Paramattha Dhamma, they have their own characteristics. Their own characteristics come classified into Samanya Lakkhana 3 and Vises Lakkhana 4. Okay, that will be all that we mentioned within this class. For Kammapattha, I will explain in more details in our next class until we meet again. So that will be all of everything that we need to we try to mention within this class. Are there any questions? If there is no questions, that will be end of the class. Sadhu kap, sadhu, 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 navuti upaniti panta anumodhami.